The 2022 tennis season was one for the books, to say the least. Serena Williams called it a career along with Roger Federer, and Iga Swiatek came out of nowhere to steal the spotlight for the majority of the season. But now it is time to take a look at the upcoming 2023 WTA season, and fans have already taken to social media to project their hot takes. In today's video, we're going to be going over some of those hot takes and taking a look back at some of the accomplishments earned in 2022. So stick around because you don't want to miss a second of this video. What can we expect from Iga Swiatek this season? As I'm sure most of you know, Swiatek cleaned up last season and she is most likely looking to build off of her momentum, and fans are thinking the same. Swiatek rose to power this season, becoming the world #1 in women's tennis, which should be a surprise to nobody. So what are fans expecting from her this year? Well, one fan took to Twitter to boldly predict that Swiatek will do the unthinkable and achieve an undefeated season and have a 43-match winning streak. Even for Swiatek, this is almost impossible, and if this actually happened, I think that this person who predicted this should go and buy a lottery ticket because he has some luck on his side. Swiatek is incredibly talented, but even the best drop a match or two each year, and I'm not so boldly predicting that Swiatek will be included in that group. These athletes are human after all, even though sometimes they do look more like superhumans on the court. Another fan chimed in on Twitter and claimed that they think Swiatek is going to get the career slam this season, which for those of you who don't know is when a player wins all 4 Grand Slam tournaments during their career. If Swiatek is going to do this, she needs to win the Australian Open and Wimbledon, the only 2 Grand Slams that she has yet to win. She was victorious at both the French Open and the US Open this past season, and she will most likely look to do it again this year if she can. What would be most impressive is if she could pull off the legendary calendar year Grand Slam, in which a single player wins all 4 major tournaments in the same calendar year. This is unthinkably rare, and if she was to achieve it, she would most likely cement her spot in the record books even more than she already has. While Swiatek has a lofty set of expectations surrounding her, some fans are thinking that she has reached her peak, and she will not only be replicating her success from last season, but she will take a few steps backwards and not find her way onto a single podium this upcoming season. What if Swiatek can't repeat? As we just mentioned, most of Swiatek's fans think that she will be repeating her success from last season at the very least, and if she has trained like she normally does, she has a good shot at improving her stats this upcoming year. But some people think differently and think that the rising star will not only repeat her success from last season, but will massively falter and take a few steps backwards. One fan took to Twitter to suggest that Swiatek won't win the Cincinnati Masters, also known as the Western Open or the Southern Open. Swiatek, for all her talent and skill, actually has yet to win at the Cincinnati Masters, so it actually is not really that bold of a statement. But to be fair, she has never been set up better to take a win at this year's Cincinnati Masters, as she has never been this much of a contender before. She is on top of her game, and based on her play last year, it looks as though nobody in the game right now is strong enough to knock off the world #1. While there are some fans who are predicting Swiatek's fall, there are many more who believe that this will be her best season yet. But of course, that is not much of a hot take in itself. Swiatek is the world's #1, so saying that you think she's going to do good this season is like saying you think France is going to win the World Cup this year. It is most likely going to happen. That's right, you heard it here first. Anyway, there is a chance that Swiatek hits an injury or does crumble under the weight of the pressure of being world #1. But in all honesty, we see her doing great things this year. So look out for her this season as she goes for her best year to date. Serena Williams got a lot of love in this year's hot takes. Last year, people were predicting all sorts of things about Serena Williams, as it was going to be her last season ever. And while she did not quite meet the lofty expectations that some had placed on her, she certainly went out with a bang, going down swinging at the US Open before calling it a career. But yet, despite the fact that she is now officially retired, people still predicted that she's going to be hitting the court this season for some WTA action. Not really sure how that is going to happen, but I guess that's why they call these bold takes, right? One Twitter user posted that Serena is going to come out of evolution and win the Australian Open. I guess this person thinks that her version of retirement is actually just her giving herself time to evolve into an even better tennis player, rather than her actually calling it a career. As much as I wish real life could be like Pokemon, I don't see this being the case for Serena. While she certainly has some game left, it seemed like the right call for her to go out while she was still relevant, rather than waiting for injuries or old age to take her out of the game. As much as I would love for the Queen of Tennis to make a crazy comeback, I think this is the least likely take to come true, and the boldest of all the takes seen on Twitter this year. But crazily enough, it wasn't the only take about Serena Williams that was posted to the Twitter thread, as another user put in a take about the former world number one. This user posted that they think Serena will win another calendar Grand Slam. I mean, it was astounding the first time, but it would be world-shattering if she did this year. You know, considering the fact that she's officially retired and all, right? The odds of her coming back and playing pro tennis this year are close to none, but the odds of her coming back and winning a calendar career Grand Slam are astronomically low. This hot take is scalding hot to say the least, and is much hotter than any other take posted in this thread, which is crazy because a few of the takes were just straight up insane. One user predicted that the tour was going to declare bankruptcy, while another user predicted that somebody was going to die this season. Technically, they didn't specify that a person on the tour was going to die, they just said that somebody was going to die in 2023, so they technically aren't wrong. But despite all the crazy claims about Serena, she had some lofty expectations of her last season, and despite her age and her injuries, she found a way to achieve some amazing things in the twilight seasons of her career. Serena's magical final season and a magical career. The entire sporting world was saddened to see that Serena Williams was finally done playing pro tennis. The entire world watched as an era of sport came to an end at the US Open, but it was not before Serena went down swinging. Serena had one of the most storied careers of any athlete in any sport, winning multiple career Grand Slams, calendar year Grand Slams, doubles Grand Slams, Olympic medals, and world number one rankings. But what is almost more impressive is the fact that off the court, Serena has become an incredible role model to the Black community, to all women in sport, and to anyone who knows who she is. She has spent a great deal of her time and effort doing all she can to improve the lives of girls like her and her sister who grew up in an impoverished community. Moreover, she has donated millions of dollars of her earnings to people in these communities to help bring them out of the poverty they find themselves in. Serena Williams was an amazing tennis player and will always be remembered for her remarkable career. But more importantly, she's an amazing role model that will continue to help the world in any way she can. And if you ask me, that is her biggest accomplishment. We wish all the best for Serena in her retirement, and if she does decide to come back, we will all be rooting for her. Well, that's all we have for you today, guys, on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Do you have any hot takes for this WTA season? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.